Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you are all well. I hope that you enjoyed your guided reading last week. This week, we are going to be looking at a new book. Now, just to remind you, we look at the same book all week, okay? So we don't start reading new books. You have one book all week. But first, let's remind ourselves again of our reading strategies. So the reading strategies we like to use is our eagle eye. That is when we look at the word, we take the first letter from that word and we look at the pictures in our book for help. Our second reading strategy is our stretchy snake. That is when we look at the letters in the word, we stretch the sounds out, and we go back and say the sounds all together. For example, ship, shipper. Okay, let's try a stretchy snake of our own. So first I'll have a go, then you'll have a go, and then we'll say it all together. Ready? Bubble. B-u-b-u. Bubble. You have a go for me? Good job. Well done. Let's say it one more time all together. Bubble. B-u-b-u. Bubble. Fantastic job. So the book that you are going to be reading this week is called Tidy Up Winnie. Let's go and have a look. Boys and girls, this is what your book will look like on Oxford Owl. Let's have a read. So the book that we are going to be reading is actually called Winnie's Bubble Trouble, but it's part of our Tidy Up Winnie series. So Winnie's Bubble Trouble, Chapter 1. Glug, glug, slurp. Winnie was drinking fizzy froggle pop. Scrunch, munch, gulp. Wilbur was eating crispy mouse tails. Bip, wiggle, bop. Winnie and Wilbur were both in the kitchen singing and dancing along to very loud music. Winnie and Wilbur were having a party, just the two of them. They had pumpkin pizza, toad on toast, and crunchy cabbage crisps to munch. They had balloons and streamers. It was a lot of fun. Winnie and Wilbur went to bed very late that night. Wilbur went straight to sleep, but Winnie didn't. Snore went Wilbur. Snore, snore, snore. Oh, please shush, Wilbur, said Winnie, putting her hands over her ears. Snore, snore, snore. Snore, splutter. No, moaned Winnie. I can't sleep with that noise. Snore, snore, snore. Winnie put her pillow over her head, but she couldn't get to sleep. She was still wide awake. She stayed wide awake for the rest of the night. Chapter 2. When the sun came up, Winnie got up too. She felt very tired. She tried to make Wilbur a toadstool toasty for breakfast, but she didn't watch what she was doing. Soon, flames were coming from the cooker. Meow, went Wilbur. He spat the burnt toadstool toasty out. Winnie didn't want to eat it either. So they opened a can of beans and had them for breakfast instead. Then Winnie tried to tidy up all the mess left over from the party. Boom! The vacuum cleaner exploded. Bang, sploosh! The washing machine broke down. Me hee hee, ow! Laughed Wilbur. There was mess everywhere. Then Winnie slipped in a puddle of water. Slip, crash! She knocked over a pile of plates and pans. Bang, clang, smash! Oh, soggy slug bottoms, cried Winnie, covering her ears. I wish I could float away from all this noise and go somewhere calm and quiet. She waved her wand. Abracadabra. At once Winnie was inside a giant bubble. It floated silently out through the window and up into the sky. "Ah!" said Winnie. She closed her eyes and snoozed for a while as she floated up and up. When she opened her eyes, she saw birds and planes passing, but she could not hear them. "Perfect!" said Winnie. Then she looked down. Her house looked tiny from down below. Wilbur was only the size of a flea. "Oh!" said Winnie. "I'm too high up in the sky. Get me down." But Winnie couldn't wave her wand in case she popped the bubble. "Help!" she said, feeling a bit panicky. "Help!" No sound came out of the bubble, but a small sound came from Winnie inside the bubble. "Bark." "Whoops!" said Winnie. The bubble got a little bit bigger. "Pongy wongy," said Winnie. "Why did I eat those beans for breakfast, Wilbur? Save me." Wilbur was down on the ground. He saw Winnie's bubble floating high up into the sky. He was worried. "Meow!" he called. He knew he had to get up there to help Winnie, but how? He didn't have wings, and he couldn't fly Winnie's broom. But Wilbur did have balloons left over from the party. Wilbur grabbed lots of balloon strings. He tied some to his tail and held tight to the others. Then he began to slowly float up into the sky. Chapter 3. Up, up, up went Wilbur, until he was next to Winnie's bubble. Winnie was waving at him and moving her mouth. "Get me out of this pongy bubble!" she shouted. But how could Wilbur burst a bubble without letting Winnie fall from the sky? "Meow!" Wilbur had an idea. He let go of one balloon. "Wilbur!" called Winnie, as Wilbur and his balloon sank lower. But now Wilbur's balloons were like a cushion under Winnie's bubble. That way Winnie could pop her balloon and be safe. She poked and poked with her wand, and pop! The pongy-wongy bubble burst. Winnie landed on the balloons. "Ah, fresh air!" she said. But Winnie was heavy, and the balloons quickly began to sink. "Whoops! Tweet, tweet!" "What's happening?" began Winnie, as a flock of big beaky birdies flew alongside her. "A tweety tweet treat!" went the birds. They thought Wilbur's brightly coloured balloons looked like juicy fruit, so the birds started to peck at the balloon. Peck, peck, pop, pop, pop. One by one the balloons went pop. Winnie and Wilbur started to fall. Winnie flopped her arms trying to fly. It didn't work. Just then Winnie remembered that she had her wand. "Abracadabra!" she shouted. At once a big umbrella appeared. Winnie and Wilbur floated down slowly and landed gently in a lovely, soft, flowery meadow. "Tweet, tweet!" sang some birdies. "I've had enough of birdies for one day," said Winnie, "but at least I'm safe on the ground." "Meow!" said Wilbur. "Yawn! Yawn!" "I'm tired too," said Winnie. So they settled down to sleep in the long grass. But after a moment Wilbur began to snore again. Snore, snore, snore. "Not again!" cried Winnie. But she was so tired that soon she was snoring too. Snore, snore, snore. Grunt, grunt, snore. So it was only the birdies who had to cover their ears. Now that I've finished reading the book, you need to go all the way back to the beginning and have a read for me. If you want, you can rewind this video and listen to me read it again, or down here on Oxford Owl you can access the play button and Oxford Owl will read it to you. So boys and girls, we should all be finished with reading by now and on to your Kahoot quiz. You can access Kahoot by typing it into Google, kahoot.it, or you can download it from the App Store. this is what Kahoot looks like. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it now. And your game pin for your first quiz is 0594394, and then you press enter. Once your page has loaded, this is what your Kahoot page will look like. You have 4 questions. Don't forget that they are on a timer, so you need to get that brain thinking nice and quick. And to join the game, all you need to do is enter your name and press OK, go. Don't forget, once you have completed your quiz, to send me or your class teacher a picture to show that you have completed it. Have fun and enjoy.